So I recently built a house in The Sims 4 inspired by popular book series, and now we get to furnish it. Here it is on the outside. This is the Cullen house from Twilight. We started already a bit on the interior, but we have a long way to go. And in the last video, I really wanted to get you guys involved. So I asked you what books we should reference, and there were so many comments on that video. We're going to be starting off with this garage level here with Chronicles of Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia series is about 4 children who stumble into the land of Narnia, which was once a beautiful and peaceful realm. But this realm was cursed by the White Witch, and now the kids must help bring Narnia back to its peaceful state. So for these rooms, I was actually thinking, since this is the garage level, you enter here through this door, and I wanted this to look like a normal garage. But then hiding in the back here, we'll put a secret bookshelf door. The kids in this movie actually stumble into Narnia through a wardrobe, so I was thinking we could put all sorts of storage in here. That way maybe it won't look so strange if we hide a big wardrobe right in front of the door. But I am gonna have to make sure Sims can still get there, so maybe if we build out this little back area and then put the wardrobe here, then it won't be so visible behind. Let's see, we'll fill it up with a bunch more junk. Like there's this table here. Actually, this is like a collection of just stuff from high school years meant for a thrift store. And then we can raise boxes on top of there from the basement kit. Just like stacking random things in here. I'm basically just trying to make the wardrobe not look so random in here. We can even get a small car in here. So here we have a room just full of random trash. I even added a bookshelf over to this side so that even if someone does stumble across this one, hopefully they won't think twice about it. But now that we have our wardrobe in place, we can go and do our Narnia inspired room. So like I was saying, when they enter into this world, it's completely covered in snow and ice. Everything is frozen. Creatures and animals are literally frozen. But as the story progresses, we start seeing the beautiful world come back to life. So we're gonna kind of split this room to represent their journey. It'll be snow when you enter, then we'll have a little bit more greenery happening, and I'm actually going to raise this part up on a platform, so here we can add in some thrones. Okay, let's see how this works out. So this part, obviously I'm going all white, and I'm bringing back this touch of starlight item from Lovestruck so I can change this into snow. I'm thinking these are gonna work like regular lights, meaning I can make them any color that I want. So this is actually gonna kind of be like our wallpaper. So coming into live mode, I'm gonna set the color and intensity for all the lights in here to like a white, and there we go, we have this glittery white snow happening. The first thing they see when they come in is like a lamppost, so I'm gonna add that right here at the door. I wish we had some pine trees that would work on the interior. Like whenever you try and bring trees from the outside in, they always kind of look dark and weird. Like Snowy Escape has these snow covered ones, but I feel like they might look a little too dark. We could try and use these trees from Seasons. I just don't really want those presents to be around at the bottom, so I found this like clump of snow from Snowy Escape, and I've just sized that up, so I'm gonna hide the presents using this. Even if it goes through the back wall a little bit, it'll be fine because it's just terrain happening back there. And I was also thinking about adding these. These can maybe represent the frozen creatures, like the ones that were cursed by the White Witch. I've also just gone ahead and sized up this item. This is from the holiday pack, and I put that in the background. I think it just looks cool adding to the frozen effect. So there we have the witch covered, we've got the wardrobe covered. I'm gonna add some rocks dividing this part. And for our lion, again, The Sims 4 is limited in lion options, which is very specific in the first place, but we do have this item from Vintage Glamour, and he's sitting on books and does not look like Aslan, but like at all. But I'm going to take this, we're gonna page down into the basement and turn on the grid, and I'm just gonna raise him through the floor, so hopefully we'll have just the lion part and not the actual books like that. So there we go, we have our lion. Poor Aslan, I swear. And he will be facing these 4 thrones. I'm gonna change the lighting going over this way so it's gonna be a little warmer. I'm adding in some columns from Get Famous. Maybe we can add some swords behind there, some fancy tapestries, and I'm also gonna use these pedestals behind here. Maybe on this side we could add some knights, just like lining the way for the lion. And it also kind of makes sense that this is technically part of the garage because I feel like they could use a lot of this stuff as like off-season decor, like Christmas decorations. Maybe in reality they hold just like some weird parties and this is their decor for that. We can add some swords on here, and I don't want to do it, but I think we should add like a stone table in the background somewhere. Maybe we'll just include this smaller one here from Outdoor Retreat. I don't want to do it. This part broke my heart as a kid. If you know, you know, but there we go. We have our super weird Chronicles of Narnia room. We have something to represent the 4 children, the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. Okay, anyway, moving on. We are next gonna go upstairs, and we're gonna start with 2 bedrooms over here. And these bedrooms are going to be for ACOTAR. In this series, the main character, Feyre, gets kidnapped and taken to the fairy world of Prythian. And there, she will adventure through the several fairy courts, finding love, struggles, and a whole new life ahead of her. So we're gonna do 2 based on different courts. We'll do one for the spring court and one for the night court. This one's gonna be a lot harder for you to visualize if you haven't read this, because this one doesn't actually have a movie or a TV series or anything behind it. There's currently only the books to go off of, but I want to build this one off of Feyre's bedroom in the spring court. And someone posted these pictures on Reddit saying this is exactly what they thought her room would look like here. I also kind of thought this. So for now, I'm gonna try and use this bed here from For Rent. I want to add a super fancy rug. I want all of this to be very elaborate. I always pictured this spring court to be very over the top, very much like for show, you know? This series is really funny because everyone says you have to get through the first book. Once you get past the first book, it's not the greatest, but then everything after that is great. But I remember reading the first one, which is very much about the spring court, and I just remember thinking, what is everyone talking about? Cut to the second book, I understood. I've actually seen a lot of people reading the first book out in public, and every time I see it, I just think to myself, like, you don't even know what you're in for. Like, you cannot interfere. I saw a girl reading the second one on a flight one time, and I was just like, oh girl, you are truly in for a wild ride, and it's not the plane. I am cluttering this up here with a little bit of werewolves decor. We'll use this dresser here from Vampires. I think I might use these curtains from the storybook kit, maybe in green. Everything here is in full bloom. It's springtime all the time. I'm adding some fancy chairs in here. There's a couch from Paranormal facing the fireplace. I'm also adding in some giant flowers. These are from my wedding stories. I think I'm gonna put flowers like everywhere. We also need a vanity. We could add some paintbrush clutter. This is from the artist studio kit. Maybe I'll just clutter this up with art supplies. And then actually I have this tiny little room back here, which I was going to make into a closet, but I think this is gonna be where we make Feyre do her art. Might replace this with a door, actually, with a lock. This bed actually turned out so pretty, by the way. I ended up adding these arches. They're wedding arches, ironically, and they're from Base Game, and they just have the prettiest florals going up the sides, and they honestly just attached really perfectly onto the bedpost there. What else? We can get a fancy bookshelf, which she can't use. We can add a big stand-up mirror. She can just look at her pretty dresses. And here we have a bedroom in The Sims 4 inspired by the spring court. My favorite part has to be that bed. Those posts look so pretty. We also have our fireplace over here, a little bit of werewolf decor, only the fanciest of items in here. And then over to this side, we have her vanity, we have her painting room. Over in this corner over here, I added some canvases behind the mirror. So moving on from here, next we're gonna build for the night court. How are we gonna do this? I feel like I could do an entire build inspired by like a lot of these series. First thing I'm going to be doing is changing the lighting to all blue. And I'm also going to be lining this wall with this touch of starlight. I think I'll only do it on this wall though. I'm not going to get too carried away. Since I am trying to avoid spoilers here, it's very hard for me to say much about this room. I guess we could say we're aiming for moody. The night court also appears intimidating to everyone else. We've also added that starry wallpaper to the bedroom ceiling, and I also added it to the great hall downstairs as well. I'm gonna add a mirror above our fireplace. I definitely want to include bookshelves in this one, so I'm adding 2 of them right here. Ooh, the night court is also located in the mountains, so we could use this here. And then surrounding that from high school years, we could shrink these stars and put them right over top of the mountain like this. We're gonna need 3 of them. That is so perfect. I'm also gonna add a seating area here for reading. We can also add in a rug from Paranormal, some candles added on there, and could I find some bats? Oh my gosh, this is perfect. There are literally 3 little bats on there. Oh my gosh. And there's this I just found in debug. Unsure if this is a literal bat that might fly away, but it does kind of look cool over my fireplace. The 3 little bats, how perfect. For curtains, I'm actually using this divider here from Lovestruck, and I'm just shrinking those and putting them over top of the windows. I definitely want to keep this part open and visible to the outside though. But then over here, we can just add matching Lovestruck furniture. I did also see people requesting Throne of Glass, which is by the same same author. And I don't want to do that one right now because I'm currently reading that one and I didn't want any spoilers. I am having a harder time getting through that one though than I did getting through this series. All right, so this is our night court inspired bedroom. Very different, clearly, from the one on the other side. I also like how they're opposite to each other, but we've got the reading area over here. I was still so content with that mountain symbol with the stars, our 3 little bats. Then coming this way, we have our bed, our fireplace, seating area with tons of books over here. And I also added in more pictures of mountains, like city living has mountain pictures, snowy escape. So there we are. And with that, we're ready to move on to the next room. And the next one will be for Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones series follows several houses of Westeros as they compete for control over the Iron Throne through war, alliances, betrayal, and revenge. So coming over here, we're still missing some essential rooms. We need a kitchen, we need a bathroom. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do the bathroom and the kitchen area here combined. What we're gonna do is section this off, and then I'm gonna open this area up here with some archways. So we'll have our kitchen in there, it's gonna be very small. And then this room, this is obviously very weirdly shaped. It's on the part that juts out of the Cullen house, like the diagonal part. But this room will be our throne room slash dining room. So again, I'm gonna raise this part up on a platform. I have flooring and wallpaper here from the Castle Estate kit, and I'm just gonna bring across some stairs here as well. And we are going to somehow have to build the Iron Throne up here. I have no idea how. It's so detailed, so intricate. I feel like I could do it exactly if I had the tool mod because it's made of swords and I could like place these surrounding it, but I don't have that. So we're just gonna have to get creative. We're gonna use this chair here from Get Famous, and I'm gonna size up these crystals with these spiky edges to surround it. So this one here is Jet. I knew we had this one, so I'm just gonna size those up and place them like behind the chair. So they're gonna be surrounding it like that. And there's another one we could use, another black crystal. Okay, it's hematite. So I'm going to size this one up and we'll put that behind. We're trying here, okay? And then maybe we can also surround the sides of it as well. Listen, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But dare I say that show was not perfect either. I have personally not read this entire book series. I do have all the books though, so I've been planning on doing it, or as many books that are currently out since it's not really finished yet. But I watched this show faithfully. I've rewatched it maybe 4 times. It was literally my favorite show at one point. I would get so excited for a new episode. My whole family would watch it. It was like a whole event. But the ending just, oh, I cannot even talk about it still too soon. I think it's a general consensus at this point that the ending of this show was just horrible. So many people disliked it. When it ended, I remember just sitting on the floor, just literally sitting on the floor in shock. By the way, I'm gonna be using some of these banners from Journey to Bad 2, so I really hope they don't represent something else. I'm also adding a couple chairs beside the throne. I'm bringing in some lighting from Jungle Adventure, and I know we have this tiny little dragon statue. I'm gonna size some of these up and put them right beside the entry to the throne. I'm actually going to add 3 of them, and then leading down this way, this is where I wanted to add some dining tables. I'm aiming for a medieval look. I want this part of the room to look kind of like a cluttered bar almost. So we'll have 2 tables here like that, and then in the back here maybe I can add some more elite seating, and then we'll section it off with these from Get Together. This show for me was honestly something I didn't want to get into. Totally not my kind of thing. I watched like Love is Blind, so I was genuinely shocked when I found out that I liked this show, and I feel like I would like the book series too. So maybe one day if that's ever finished and the ending is different, then I could consider diving in. But if you have read this series, let me know how you like it compared to the show. I also wanted to add pictures of maps around in this room since they're always making like battle plans, and there is already so much happening in this room, but I want to add a bar. So I guess we could add in this globe bar here from Vintage Glamour. Okay, so here's our Game of Thrones inspired dining room slash throne hall. There is a lot happening in here, but the aesthetic actually turned out really cool. Coming along to this side too, we've got our dining tables, we have our lounge area in the back. We do still have to build the kitchen though, so let's bring the same flooring in here, but we can use wallpaper from Get Together. I need like the oldest looking kitchen stuff we can find in The Sims 4. We could add in the wood stove and the matching fridge from base game. Then we can also put up these cabinets, and I'll squeeze a trash can in against one of these columns, and I don't think I'm gonna add too much more there for my kitchen. And now for the bathroom. So there is some significance with toilets in Game of Thrones, hence why I wanted to include this in here, but again, everything is super old in this show. So like the toilets are literally just stones with like a hole in it. So this is gonna be our toilet here, but I did want to add a weapon of some kind right behind it. It's too bad there's not a crossbow, but that'll be our toilet. And then for our bath, oh, we could use this one here from Horse Ranch. We could add some like castle estate decor above it and some towels. And I guess on this side we could try the matching sink, or there's actually this stone one here from Outdoor Retreat. I'm adding this worn looking mirror on top, and here we have our Game of Thrones inspired bathroom. I think I'm gonna do another one upstairs as well, so this is not gonna be the only one, but here we are. Now we're ready to move on to the final room on this floor. So for our next bedroom, this one's gonna be inspired by Goosebumps. And Goosebumps is a series of children's horror novels about teens who find themselves in scary situations, usually involving the paranormal or the occult. And although this is technically a series, they're not related to each other, so I'm pretty sure you could read these in any order. This is a huge bedroom, so I was thinking about also having like a living room here, or maybe even a small library included. And I also downloaded some custom content for this because I love the covers of these books. I feel like they're so cool. They're so weird and colorful and generally have some kind of like monster on the front of them. So I really wanted to be able to download some posters that we could display in here. I was thinking this bedroom could be for like a fanatic, someone who is just super into this entire series. The book series itself was super successful, and they went on to have a TV show in the 90s. There was also the movie series that came out with Jack Black. I downloaded this CC set by Channel 4 Sims, by the way, and they made these books. One is in Simlish and the other one is just like in English. I feel like that's such a cool touch. I did also look for these pictures on the gallery. Like I was hoping someone made Goosebumps posters, but I didn't find any yet, so this is just gonna have to do. The custom content looks really cool in here. I also want to add in some beanbag chairs. These are from high school years, and I've also been framing these with these columns from Get Famous. This is actually perfect because we don't have a TV in this whole house yet, so we'll add one here. I'll change the glow to green, and then we'll add in some bookshelves. These ones I'm using are from Growing Together. And then maybe since monsters are such a feature, we could add in some weird toys like this gnome, whatever kind of monster we have in The Sims 4, the ghost gnome. Some of the kids' toys could even work, like this guy in the corner. Maybe this can be a kid's room for some reason, or like a teen. This could be a younger teen's room. We can get Patchy in here somewhere. Isn't there a scarecrow one? Oh yeah, there is. These actually stack too, so I can make my own little stack of these Goosebumps books. All right, so this is our Goosebumps inspired bedroom. This one is so fun. I love the style of these posters. Same thing coming over this way. We've got our massive reading area, a TV in here, some toys if this is going to be a kid's room. So we're all finished with the second floor. Now we're ready to go up to the third floor, and this room upstairs will be for the Hunger Games. In the Hunger Games series, one boy and one girl are chosen from 12 different districts to compete to the death against each other in the annual Hunger Games as punishment for a past rebellion against the Capitol. So for this room, we're gonna make it into like a gym slash training area, and I've added windows here so that people could actually see in and watch people train. I think this room is gonna be a little strange. I'm gonna try and divide the room like this into hopefully 12 different districts. I'll do the same thing over on the other side, just making these little cubbies, and they're gonna be like lockers. I'm using these light strips here along the top of them. I think I've actually made 13 little cubbies, so we're just gonna have to do lights out on the 13th one. I've just looked up numbers on the gallery, and I'm gonna try and find some that we can use to label these. I'm gonna download this one, and we're gonna number each of these. So 1 all the way through 13. Everyone's gonna have their own cubby. Okay, so all of these here are labeled, and in each of these little cubbies or lockers, this is where we're gonna put something to represent each district. So each district is known for something different, and it's what they bring to the table to the Capitol. So District 1 is known for jewelry and luxury items. So I'm adding this super fancy statue. It's like kind of obnoxious, and we can put a mirror in here. Along the bottom, we could put this jewelry box. We could add jewelry around. Just basically whatever this district is known for will be in their little locker. District 2 will be weapons and masonry. Ooh, we can actually use some of these swords on here. We'll just shrink them down. 3 is electronics, so I think I'm gonna stack some TVs in here and maybe just put some like on the floor. On the plus side, Sims will probably watch these while they're working out with the gym equipment we're gonna add in. 4 is going to be for fishing, and so we could add a fish bowl, or this here from Growing Together with all the little like lures on it. 5 is for electricity. I kind of want to use this light here from Strangerville, and we can maybe also add some lamps. 6 is for transportation, so I'm using these tires, and we're gonna stack these on top of each other. These are from Strangerville. And then we have 7, which is lumber. umber. I think I'm gonna keep this like this color maybe, just to match what we've got going on. We could also add some of the wood pieces here from werewolves on top, and there's our 7 districts. Number 8 is textiles, so like fabric and clothing. 9 is grain production, so I'm gonna add a bread box, and we could also add some shelving. I'm gonna add this on top of one of the shelves. Oh, and we can also raise this up from debug as well. 10 is going to be for livestock. Oh, so we could add one of these signs here from cottage living with like some of these chicken ribbons from like the competitions. Oh, and we can give them a basket from Jungle Adventure, and we'll just fill that up with eggs. And there we go. Moving on to District 11. This one is agriculture, so these ones are going to be sort of similar here. Oh, we could add this massive lettuce with other produce just like scattered around. Finally, for 12, we have coal mining. So I'm going to find this bucket here from cottage living, and we're going to size it up. I'm going to find this lump of coal from Seasons, and I'm going to size this up and fill up the bucket with it. We're going to have to move this over, and I'll just like stack them on top of each other like this. This one is a series that I have read the first 3 of them. I have not read the newest one, and I still haven't seen the newest movie yet either. Definitely have to get on that. But did anyone else have to read these in school? Like I had to read this in class. For the final thing, I'm just adding this train cart here with the coal in it. So there we go. And then for 13 was known for nuclear technology, and everyone thought that this district was actually gone because of a nuclear disaster. So they're gonna get this. This is from Strangerville. Okay, so here are our lockers. And then in the middle here, I was thinking about adding punching bags all in a circle, like facing each other. We'll add as many as we can fit. I don't know if we'll be able to get 12 and have them be functional, but then I also wanted to add rocks behind each of them. So this is kind of signifying like the starting point in the first movie. And we could put some stupid, obnoxious like lighting right in the center of this, signifying like the capital. And I also did want to add cameras everywhere. So I'm adding these cameras like in this corner. In the back, we could also add just like stage equipment, camera equipment. We could also add these security cameras by the door. And there we go. This is our Hunger Games inspired gym. This is such a random room, but I kind of like it. We could even put like a bundle of stuff in the center here. And okay, let's move on from here. We have a couple more rooms to go. And for the final room, I want to build Bella's room from Twilight. Since we did the entire exterior for Twilight, I wanted to make sure we had at least one interior room. Luckily, there are a ton of pictures out there showing off this room, and apparently you can actually stay in the house that this was shot in. So you can actually stay in Bella's room in real life. So for the bed sheets kind of look like this. We could also get away with this one from high school years, which I like better. And then we need a stand-up mirror in the corner, and there's a lantern like this in the corner, which is connected to like string lights, which I might actually use these ones from the holiday pack instead. And then we have some artwork above the bed. There's like a planty one, a picture of like an animal, so we'll use this from Tiny Living as well. And then there's like this glass picture. I'm gonna try and use this from Eco Lifestyle, and behind there I'll add this from Dream Home Decorator. Then there's just an end table beside here, and there's a picture of like a dog. So again, I'm using this Tiny Living picture. Oh, I think that glass thing might have actually been a tapestry in the movie, but I think they preserved it or something in glass in the actual house. Going over this way, there is a shelf. We'll add some clutter items on there. The window here, obviously we need some sheer curtains. These are from Parenthood. There's a dresser to this side. It looks like some cork boards or something going on here. We've got a desk on this side. I'm gonna add her laptop here, and we're gonna bring these lights all the way through as well. I'm also adding a rug underneath, and here we have our Bella inspired room in The Sims 4. Here's how it's looking on the other side with all of the stuff on the walls. A little strange that we have her room inside of Edward's house, but definitely not the weirdest thing going on in this house, that's for sure. To pull this together, I added one more quick bathroom upstairs. I tried making this one look as normal as possible in comparison to the other one, and I just pulled the hallways together using similar aesthetics to the rest of the house. So that is all I got for you guys today. I hope you liked this video. I would love to do more of these, or even a village inspired by a different book series. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.